Hey there, Adventure Machines subscribers. Little update on the BMW project. That is all back together, and new coolant tank, a new radiator. That was a used radiator. Thermal switch for the auxiliary fan. Ceramic coated the exhaust manifolds. Attempted to wrinkle paint the valve cover and decided that putting it in the oven to cure it was going to be a great idea, and yeah, don't do that. But fixed a few things, put the Vanos repair kit from BC and yeah, some guys in Southeast America provide a kit to repair the Vanos. Went through that. Figured out that there's a high probability that it does have S50 cams in it. I had a couple of the followers, or the buckets, the hydraulic buckets, lash adjuster guys underneath the exhaust cam, had a little bit of surface rust on them, and I didn't like that, so I ended up putting 8 buckets in on the exhaust side. ECU, which is hiding in behind here, pulled it out and discovered that it has a Turner ECU chip in it with the M3 cam tune, which backs up the fact that, based upon what I'm seeing on these cams, there's no markings on them other than looking at the profile, and then there's in the back there's the dots. The dots lead me to believe that they are S50 and then ECU. Figured out that the rubber grommet guys weren't anywhere to be found, and there's round mount pods, I suppose, that go on the bottom of these tanks and go against the frame rail. I had to machine up some stuff there so that the radiator could mount properly, but that right there is the coolant that's leaking out of a hole in my new radiator. Unfortunately, you might not be able to see it. It's back in there. One of the transfers tubes has a hole in it, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. New upper and lower radiator hoses, new accessory belt, and idler pulleys, and the tensioner. And as I was about ready to put the intake manifold on, looking at the back of the oil filter housing, and it's just wet with oil, a bunch of grime, and kind of this trail of oil coming from kind of the back area of it. And come to find out, there's 2 plugs in the back of this housing that are notorious for leaking, and these 2 were doing a very good job of doing that. So without disassembling all of this and taking it off and just digging too deep, I decided to just repair the plugs and hope that this assembly bolts to the block, and there's a seal that goes between there, that it's not the place where it's leaking. And if it is, then I'll dig in. But I wanted to make sure that it ran and didn't make bad noises. And so also this little janky solution here, this is ripped on the other side of the MAF sensor, so if that was actually the case, this thing probably didn't run very well. And there was a couple other leaks down below here that would basically allow air to get past the MAF sensor without being measured. So there's a little bit of work that I need to do in there. So got the mid pipe back on it, and if had it running once already, but it actually runs. I don't have the muffler, the back section on it, just coming out of the cats right now, but still a little ticky on the valve train, but not too bad. But overall, you know, it's running pretty darn good. Pretty happy with that. My hope is that the valve train noise will quiet down a little bit once I get some time on it. This oil that I've got in it, I need to change out pretty quickly. But yeah, pretty happy about that. And the alternator works because my battery charger, which is sitting back here, just goes into idle as soon as I shut the engine off, or it idles as soon as the engine's running, so it's not charging when that's running, so it means the alternator is working. But yeah, I need to drop the exhaust out of it, and in the back, that's the reason why it's not connected, is that right there. That is not supposed to be that way. Apparently it's a fairly common fault that the rear sway bar mounts break off of these things, and it's done that on both sides, so I need to get that back on there. And then got a fresh set of brake pads for all 4 corners, and need to tighten up the front wheel bearings and see if I can round up a set of tires, but these will have to do for the maiden voyage. Make sure that it's up and running before I spend any more time with it. Make sure that it moves under its own power and doesn't do anything stupid as far as the clutch is concerned. Interior was cleaner, but I've been in and out of here putting the new headliner in. It's a tan Alcantara that I picked up, and which is in really nice shape. The original was gray, but doesn't look too bad, so it's better than the old one, which is, these things have a tendency to fall down. So, but yeah, need to finish up putting the sun visor in and the controls and stuff, and I can get the passenger seat back in it. I need to dig into the driver's seat a little bit. The back tilt function's not working, so I need to figure out why. I'm going to do a little bit of repair work on the door panels, see if I can get them to at least function for now. Put them back on, and gosh, what else? That's about it, and then it'll be good to go. So unfortunately I got to drain all the frickin' coolant back out of it so that I can take the radiator back out and see if I can get that repaired. That's a $270 radiator new. I can buy a cheap one off of Rock Auto for about 80 bucks. So I don't know. You guys tell me what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and patch that up for now. Get a replacement elbow, and then it's got a janked out cold air intake. This K&N filter has seen way better days, so I might replace it with something. I'm not sure what yet. But first things first, it runs and it doesn't make really bad noises, which is a bonus. And yeah, maybe this is going to be my daily commuter bomber. But one of the things I discovered about it is it's got Bilstein shocks and struts, H&R springs, stainless brake lines. I don't know if the cross-drilled rotors are stock, but may or may not be. It's got big-ass frickin' sway bars on it. So somebody threw the suspension kit at it. Like I said, it's got what I'm pretty sure are S50 cams, hot tune in the ECU. So, oh, and it's got a fancy aftermarket muffler on it. So it might actually run pretty good. I did polish the trunk lid, which not too shabby. Pretty decent shape. Now I just need to make the rest of it look like that. Couple minor wows in it and a little bit of scratches here and there, but you know, it's a 5-foot good looker. It doesn't have a bunch of rust in it, so should be a good car. Like I said, good commuter bomber. And have fun while I'm doing it. Hey, enjoy.